Harbor Freight. I got like a little $700 welder that'll do everything: MIG, stick, and TIG. And then
See, I wish I knew more about welding. Like, Dad never really taught me.
Oh, he never taught me either. I had to learn everything when I learned a little bit in school, and then the rest of it I've learned while I've been out here on, working. So
you're like learning how to weld on the job.
they sent me to one, like a basics class, and then I was scheduled for an advanced class this year, but it got shut down because of freaking COVID.
Corona.
Yeah. But I mean, for the most part, I learn a lot of it just by doing it. Yeah. Like out in the field. So, which is really nice.
Because I feel like welding is a skill that's always useful.
It is always useful. And the best part about welding is, like, if I had a suggestion for anyone who knows how to weld, it would be like, just get really good at it, because it's never going to go away as like a skilled labor.
The robots are going to learn how.
Well, and they kind of already have that. I was just watching some video the other day. These guys were welding pipeline with what they call a bug, and it sticks to the pipe, and then they use a controller to walk it around the pipe to weld the joint together.
Oh, it's actually kind of smart, right? Didn't a bunch of people die? Like, don't people die welding that shit all the time like that?
Oh, I'm sure. But those pipeline welders make a ton of money. Like,
right.
A lot. I mean, it's probably because it's miserable, but they make a lot of money.
Yeah. I guess I got to make money doing something. Are they essential workers?
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed they're
think
not
so?
shut. Oh, yeah. Guaranteed. The pipeline ain't going to shut down for nothing. Unless they go bankrupt, which they very well could during this, because everybody's going bankrupt right now during this.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how this is all going to play out. I know we've talked about it before.
I don't know, man.
We are live, by the way, so don't say anything you don't want mean.
Oh, no racist things.
That I didn't say that.
Yeah, right.
Not because you don't talk like that. So
I was gonna say,
why would I even say that?
Like the least racist person ever.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there.
I'll do it. I don't care. You might as well jump out. Jump in feet first with your biggest and best joke.
The most racist podcast. Okay. What were we even talking about? Oh my god.
Welding.
The pipeline.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That was a good smooth transition into this freaking COVID thing. I watched some video the other day. This rancher made on YouTube, and he was talking about how apparently the government is mandating them. The government said that they will come to these ranches and they will help determine, and they will also help them euthanize their slaughter-ready cattle.
What? Why?
I don't know. And this guy was in Texas, so that's a big deal.
What?
And then he said, though, see, that's let me finish the thought, and then that'll be my question. No, that's my question, though. So he also said, not only are they saying they're going to do that, they're going to come in and basically help them pick and euthanize their cattle. But he said also some huge shipment, this was like a week ago, but some huge shipment of overseas beef landed on our shores. And he was like, what is happening? Like, we're importing beef, which guaranteed is nowhere near the quality of our own beef, and we're slaughtering our own cattle, but not selling them.
I guess I'm confused. Like, are they like mandating, like, they have to thin their herds, basically?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's depopulation of their herds.
So are they only getting rid of, like, the old cows? Like, I guess I'm confused.
I'm kind of confused too. And it's just a YouTube video. It could all be hearsay, and I could be spreading more hearsay. But he said, like, slaughter ready cattle. They were gonna euthanize it.
So basically, like, probably like steers that are butcher weight, are they gonna pay him?
I see that. I don't know. I mean, even if they paid these farmers, which they probably would, because I don't know how they could just say, yeah, kill all these cows and good luck. Even if they did pay them, I don't think that's getting to the core of this issue, which is a deep deep issue.
No, I don't understand. I just don't understand, I guess. I don't understand.
Well,
like cattle are like personal property.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what didn't make any sense to me either. I was like, wait a minute. How can the government just come in and tell them what to do with these cows?
What's happening, really?
That's what I don't get, because, and this guy had a great message. He was basically like, look, we have to, he said, local shop owners and local ranchers, you guys just need to get together and cut out all the middlemen and basically say fuck the government on this one. Because he said we can't be doing this. He said because before we know it, we're going to run out of food because of the way we're doing things.
What the fuck? This is like scary.
I know.
Oh well, my god. Great.
No, and I hate it. I hate that it's been like, I don't know, several months since our last freaking roundtable, and we're still having to talk about this.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it sucks because I was saying at the beginning of this that I knew it was going to get worse before it gets better. I was just really hoping it would only be about a month.
I know, but what's the end game here, you know?
Where
does it end?
I'm just worried about all this stuff that's gonna stick from this.
That's kind of what I mean. Are things always gonna be different?
I feel like they might be. I really do feel like they might be.
And I don't know how I feel about like if they like get a vaccine and everybody's mandated to take it. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't feel good about it at all, actually.
Me
and
neither.
I don't really like the fact that there will be people who just like get in line and be like, yes, please give me your vaccine. Oh, government. I also saw this thing, and I don't know if this is true, and I don't know if I told you about this already, that and this was, I think it was on a conspiracy thread, so definitely don't take this one full.
Oh, this is going deep. Let's do it.
Well, I just heard that, because everybody's worried that they're gonna which they might have already done this, but that they could give you basically a shot that would inject like a chip into you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, this guy was actually saying that that's not what they're going to do. He said it'll be even less invasive. So he said they'll inject you, and at the injection point, it will leave dye in your skin, like tattoo ink in your skin, that's invisible to the naked eye, but it would be visible under like UV light or whatever, infrared light. So what they'll do is you'll go into a place, and they'll say, lift up your shirt. They'll wave their wand, their light over your arm. Nope, you don't have the right vaccine. You can't come in here.
I don't know how I feel about all this. I feel like we live in like some George Orwell stuff already. Like it's happening right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is for sure. And I feel like the system is just broken. Like the simulation we live in is broken.
Yeah. Lizard overlords, please stop.
Seriously.
Like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, like I don't want to get a vaccine. Like I don't, mostly because like I'm not worried about even if I get it. So like, why should I have to, like, why do I need to be worried about other people getting it? Like if I get it, it's not really going to affect me that much.
Well, see,
why should I have to get a vaccine?
Well, exactly. The forcing of vaccines is what is the scary issue here. Like if you voluntarily want to get a vaccine, then by all means go get a vaccine. But exactly, if they're starting to tell people, hey, we're going to be showing up to your house with the vaccine kit, and you and your family will be getting this, that I have a pretty big issue with that. This is supposed to be a freaking free country, and it's very quickly turning into some communist, socialist type stuff. And yeah, I don't know.
Knights of the Pageless Library, anti-vaxxers.
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed.
And that's, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even say I'm an anti-vaxxer. I'm vaccinated. My kids are vaccinated, but
I feel like that's totally different. These are like diseases that doesn't matter who you are, how strong you are. If you get them, they like affect you for the rest of your life, and they can truly like kill people, and and like disfigure them throughout their whole life like polio is not
Right.
fun for anyone, and there's
Sure.
no reason for that to exist. But this like coronavirus thing is not, like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's as scary as they want me to think it is.
Well, I've kind of been, unfortunately, I've been on that side of the fence from the beginning, because I just felt like I knew that they started talking about it and they were basically like, yeah, you're going to get like it's kind of like a flu, and then, you might die. I was like, oh, you might die? Well, only if you're like over 65 and you have underlying health conditions. Those are the people dying. It's like, well, then what are you talking about? Like, well, but it's really bad. It's really bad. It's like,
I don't know if this is a true statistic or not, but like the average age of people who die from the coronavirus is actually older than the average age of people who die.
Die like naturally.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Isn't that kind of funny?
Well, I mean, I was talking with a guy at work about this, and he's kind of on the same, conspiracy thought process I am, and he's like, how did he put it? Well, first of all, he said, "Do you know anyone who has it?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Me neither. No one in his area." And how did he say it? I can't remember like what his line of thought was exactly. Like, it had to do with that though, like it only being like old people and stuff. And then we got to talking about the vaccine, and I told him about that dye thing, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're probably right."
Yeah. I don't know. It's also strange. Freaking Corona times.
Oh, here's a terrible segue. But speaking of times, I was gonna tell you, because I was playing Chrono Trigger a bunch this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so it kind of got me hooked actually at one part.
Should we explain like what Chrono Trigger is if somebody doesn't know?
Yeah. So
I'll let you do it, because I mean I don't really know that well either.
What did you say it came out on? Like NES?
I think the NES, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a JRPG, so like Japanese RPG. They came out on the NES like a long time ago, but they remastered it for Steam in like 2018 actually. So anyways, I thought this one little kind of part was cool, and I'll try to keep it as spoiler free as possible for anybody who.
I mean, it's a pretty old game, right?
It's pretty freaking old, yeah.
And
it's super popular actually.
I feel like it's not on you. Like, well, you spoil it for the one guy who's like, "God damn it, I was gonna play that."
It's been on my backlog for 15 years, you jackass. Yeah. Like,
fuck that guy, honestly.
Anyways, I thought this was kind of cool that in the beginning you kind of open up and you're like at this fair, and you're looking for like your friend, and you're going around the fair, and you can do like different things, talk to all these people, and there's a bunch of little different events that happen that you're like, you think nothing about them while they're happening.
Okay.
So then you end up traveling through time in the game, and all these like little weird things kind of happen, and you end up with like the princess of the current age traveling with you through time. So they assumed you kidnapped her, and
it kind of sounds like you did to me.
When you come back, this is the kicker. When you come back that first time, they arrest you, and you go through a trial. And at the trial, they have witnesses to what you did at the fair that they use against you.
Oh, and what?
Yeah, dude, it's stuff you wouldn't even think of in a video game. So like there'll be like this old man, and he's talking about the awesome lunch that his wife made him. Well, it's the food that's next to him, and you can take it and eat it. And they bring it up at the trial. They're like, "We have a witness who says you stole his food."
Oh my God.
Yeah, so then it would change, obviously, if you didn't do those things. So it definitely gives you some replayability to try and go back and see like how it would turn out differently. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, especially being so old like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what surprised me, is like it is super old, but like decisions really matter, which I know there are a lot of games that's even like a thing in Steam, the decisions matter type thing. But this game wasn't built for like that with that in mind, I think.
I might have to check it out. Is it still on sale?
I think no, actually I bought it when it was there was only like 2 hours left of the sale.
Dang it.
Well. Which it still wasn't super cheap either.
That's okay. I got plenty of Gears Tactics to play.
Yeah, you said that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's no XCOM, but it's definitely good. It's just you got to really think about things a lot differently than you do in XCOM, even Chimera Squad.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm assuming it's all just stuff because they're similar yet different. I'm sure it's all stuff that you would transition and get used to.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been fiending for tactics games lately. I don't know why. I like to be able to like come home and play like a couple missions and then go to bed.
Sure.
And you can like stop at any point and come right back to where you were.
It surprises me you haven't done like a run through then of do you have Divinity 2?
Yeah, I do.
You do? It surprises me you haven't done a run through of that then.
Divinity is just it's almost overwhelming to me. Like cuz like when I play with you like basically tell me how to play it and I get it. But it's like there's so many options in each fight and like ways to approach it. It's just like I don't know how to do this.
Oh, well, and don't think that I'm good at it by any means, because I've tried to play on like I've read threads like on the Steam thing where people are like, this game's too easy even on the hardest difficulty, and I play one difficulty above normal and I just get owned. So I don't have a clue. I'm not good at it. It's a good game. I really like it as a game.
I guess like my hardest thing with Divinity is like because you don't always know when encounters are gonna happen. Because like XCOM is very clearly like you got the strategy layer and you got the combat layer. Like they don't mix at all. But like Divinity is like flowing from like storytelling to like, oh, these bandits jumped you on the road and you didn't realize and you had like one of your characters is way over here and you're fighting now.
Yeah, and the thing that I actually don't love about Divinity is that all those encounters are in the exact same spot every time you play.
Oh.
So
wait
like
a minute. No, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so if you play it like the first time you play it through, those are all going to be a surprise. But the next time you play, you'll be much more like prepared for that stuff.
Okay. So would you say it has like less replayability than like an XCOM?
Actually in a way, yeah, because like so the one thing that's its saving grace is that people have modded it to change the fights. It doesn't necessarily change the location of the fights, but it might change like the enemies in the fight, or it might change where the enemies are standing in the fight. So, but overall, I would actually say yes, that gives it a lot less playability in my mind than XCOM.
Because like XCOM, I've sunk tons of hours into XCOM 2, but like you come to the same maps, but the maps are not necessarily set up in the same way.
Sure.
And like the enemies that you run into are not the same each time. And it almost seems like because like the aliens have like a tech tree, like it basically like they have like a tech level that they kind of follow, but sometimes you'll encounter different like variants sooner or later, depending on like and it seems like they almost have like their own upgrade tree that they follow,
which is pretty cool. I mean, that's cool. That's a very good way to do it, in my opinion.
Especially XCOM 2.
Well, and I noticed I like too, even in Chimera Squad. Yeah, so like I on that Iron Man one that I'm playing, which I noticed
I don't understand how you do it, man.
Well,
Squad's got some slop.
The only reason I am doing it is because if you die, it does give you the option to restart the mission. It doesn't it doesn't immediately delete the save. So you just don't have the option to like save and then reload and do all that kind of stuff. But I did notice, so like I lost and then I had to restart the encounter, and when I breached the room again, there was the same enemies, but they were all in different spots.
Yeah, they do that.
Which really pissed me off because they had a what is like the weird like phantom looking enemy thing?
Codex?
Yes, the codex. And I breached all my guys on one door because I was like, dude, oh yeah, the codex is here.
And it does the psychic disarm bomb.
Well, I breached them all in one door because I was like, oh, I can kill the codex on the breach, and it wasn't in that spot. It was in a different spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got me on that one, but
yeah, XCOM is good. I recommend XCOM 2 to anybody that's a fan of like turn-based strategy games. I think it's probably the best game you can find in that genre at this point, I think.
Yeah, you still think it's better than that Gears Tactics for sure?
Yeah, I think XCOM 2. It's just, especially the base game, not even considering the mods that are available.
Right.
Especially with War of the Chosen, just kind of like that arc that you follow and like how you like really have to like overcome the aliens. Like you have to actually like out tactics them. Like because you're not as strong as they are.
Right.
And I really like that part of the game. Because Gears is good, but Gears is more of like a power fantasy tactics game, if that makes any sense. Because you're fighting like large groups of enemies. Like you'll fight like 10 to 12 wretches at once, but you can just wipe them out with one grenade. So the fact that there's that many of them doesn't really matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like in XCOM, like sometimes like 4 troopers is enough. Like you beat them and you're like, yes, I freaking did it.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
I don't know. I appreciate that like overcoming feeling of XCOM and like when you get your guys strong, you really earned it.
Well, that was like because even where I was at on Chimera Squad, I have like one guy with like 15 HP, which is like a ton.
Oh, is that Axiom?
Yeah, but it's also because I put him through the training, and then I make sure he has like the armor upgrades and all that stuff. So I'm like, he gets shot, and I'm like, yeah, no big deal. Whereas like in the beginning, you're like, he gets shot once, you're like, oh no, if he gets shot again, he's gonna die.
Ooh, and especially I think XCOM is best experienced in Iron Man because like losing people is part of it. Like sometimes your guys are gonna die.
Yeah. Well, and especially in XCOM 2 because of what it is. It's a revolution. So you're gonna take some casualties. You have to.
And I don't know. I liked XCOM Enemy Unknown, which I don't think you've played.
No, I never played the first one.
It's good, but it's not as good as XCOM 2. XCOM 2 just beats it all up.
Right.
And especially the mods, like whoever is making these mods deserves an award because they're like DLC quality, like complete game overhauls, but without like losing the essence of what makes XCOM XCOM. And it's truly, it's just I don't know who took the time to like really balance these things, but they did a really good job.
Yeah, I'm always blown away by a lot of mods, and obviously, I play a lot of farming sim, and I have like 700 mods in my mod folder for farming sim, and there's so many mods that come out for that literally force the developer of the game to step up their game because the mods will come out and people will put it down like in the comments for that stuff, and they're like, wow, this is better than anything that the game developers made. So that's saying a lot.
It is, and I don't know. I kind of what's the mindset when you just like is it like a truly love of the game that you think that you can make it better?
Excuse me. I would say so. I know I don't have enough drive to do it because I've sat down in Farming Sim 2013, 2015, and 2017 and tried to build a map, which is not necessarily even a mod, but tried to build a map, and I'll do it for like one day. I might get into it and do try for hours and hours and hours, and then at some point I'm like, yeah, fuck this. This is way too hard.
Yeah,
I don't have the dedication for that.
But they don't even really get anything for it, right? Like they don't get any like money or anything, or really even necessarily recognition a lot of the time, right?
No, the only thing I've noticed more and more is like on the Steam Workshop, especially. Most of them, well, not most of them, I can't say that, but some of them will have links to like a Patreon page and stuff like that, so you could support them in what they're doing.
Speaking of which, I just saw this thing on Reddit that I thought was super funny. It was like this woodworking guy in Australia was working, and he was like had his little Twitch stream, and this guy donated a bunch of subs to him, and he was like, no, don't donate subs to me. Save your money. Don't give it to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really wholesome stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good because it drives me insane these days when somebody on YouTube is like, when they'll say something like, okay, I can't show you this right now because I don't want to get demonetized. It's like, dude. And YouTube is so freaking, like, basically, there's such a chokehold on it right now. They're basically, skimming everything.
Well, I think that's a good thing to talk about because, like, YouTube is basically controlling the content that people can see.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, like, so they basically are incentivizing people to even say certain words. Like, people can't cuss.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones, and I think that is insane because
it is insane. It's just words.
Exactly. It's just words. And I know they came out with that huge thing about like the whole right at the end of last year, they came out with that big change where like if your channel is not like child friendly or whatever, and you don't make, because you have to pick when you upload a video if it's age restricted or not, or if it's made for children. That's the big keyword. It's made for children. And so if you pick that it's not made for children, this one guy was saying your content will no longer be searchable, which I don't even understand how that's possible.
Like, it is kind of interesting that it's like YouTube started as like this free place for anybody to upload anything they wanted, right? But it's kind of became like just like a content stream of only things that they approve.
Exactly. Well, it's anything. They're chasing money. That's what they're doing. They're chasing the money. And
they kind of like lost the essence of what it was.
Exactly. And it lost that essence though as soon as they introduced ads, because the ads, all of a sudden, all the people who were willing to put ads up were the ones saying, I'll put ads up if. And that's where all of a sudden they started to crack down, because they basically started telling, people making content, if you want ads, you need to, no cussing, no sexual things, no sexist things. You can't say these things because then your ad revenue will be pulled, because those people don't want to support that content.
Speaking of which, speaking of ads, this podcast is still unsponsored, by the way, just in case anybody out there was interested.
That is true, and we especially, wink, wink, Audible, like to talk about a lot of Audible stuff. Wink, wink.
It's like the perfect fit. Come on.
But I would say we're not shills, though. So I think no. So that actually, I think that's a good point to bring up, because I think that, and I've heard, obviously I'm not the first one to have this thought, but like podcasting, like what we're doing here, kind of is at this point the way of like the future for like your real and true media consumption. Because so for someone like us who's not sponsored, we can say whatever we want. So
I kind of feel like I would say whatever I want if we were sponsored.
That's just the thing though, is if a sponsor approaches you as a podcaster and says, hey, we'll sponsor you, but you guys can't talk about video games anymore, only audiobooks. We can tell that guy to pound sand. We either say,
yeah.
That's kind of what I mean though, is you can either, and some podcasts do that. Some podcasts say, yes sir, please give me some money. But I just think it's important, because like you said with YouTube, it's become so censored and stuff like that because they're chasing money. So if you find a podcast like, even like Joe Rogan's podcast, which is one of the biggest podcasts in the world, yeah, he has sponsors, but you also know that those sponsors support him and he says whatever he wants. Yeah. So that's important, I think. that the sponsors are seeking you out. Whereas YouTube, people who put stuff on YouTube, they don't choose what ads play on their videos. They don't. They have no say in it. So that's YouTube using the channel to make money versus a podcast having the sponsors approach them in order for the sponsors to make money.
Right.
Or something along those lines.
Yeah, sure. I agree. I think I'm following what you're saying.
Although I've heard that, like, you know, because there's also a lot of podcast networks out there, I guess.
Which are the ones I don't like.
I was gonna say those are the ones though that start getting super like censored and stuff, I feel like, because they basically are like, okay, now you're in our group, so basically we give you access to our sponsors and you have to listen to what we say. Like, shills, man.
Yeah.
Bunch of round earth shills.
Yeah, they're round earth shills for sure. Oh, sorry, I'm just distracted because it's 8 o'clock here in Denver, and everybody is, for some reason, during these quarantine times, is yelling as loud as they can.
Oh God, it's because everybody's losing their minds, man. Everybody's losing their minds.
I know, but it's so friendly to me. It's so funny to me, like at work, like how friendly everybody is when they see me now, because I feel like I'm probably the only person that they have seen in a while.
Yeah.
People like go out of their way to say hi to me at work. It's weird.
Hey, so I wanted to actually bring that up in this. So. What do you think? So you're still working and I'm still working. There's a lot of people who are not working, whether they want to or not. They're not working. Do you feel like it's that those people get to stay home or they have to stay home?
I think it's a get, but
part of me does too.
Just because like I understand because I'm so introverted that like I was like, ooh, alone time in my room, yes, give it to me. But like I understand like somebody else who like truly wants to spend their free time with their friends and like out doing other things. I could understand how that would seem like a prison sentence to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I gotta go work my ass off, and you just gotta stay home.
Well, so that was going to bring me to my next little point that I wanted to talk about. So with that, you know, you and I are considered essential workers as of right now, which I also think it's interesting that grocery store and fast food workers are also considered essential. So some people should keep that in mind. But how do you think going from this to hopefully once this ends, like, or if there's an end in sight? So like you and I are still working, paying our taxes. So who do you think is collecting on our earned tax money?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. It would be the people staying home, right? Because they like raised unemployment here in Colorado anyway. I know that.
Right. So that I come back again to my get to or have to stay home, because some people right now are probably making more money than we are because they're not considered essential and they get to stay home.
True.
I mean, because we know that the people making the real money, especially in this country, they don't care if they go anywhere or stay home or not. They're making money anyways. I'm talking about the millionaires and billionaires. They don't care.
The guys that are lighting their cigars with their $100 bills.
Exactly. Those people don't care. But like middle class, you know, we already had a lot of people on like the lower middle class and like poverty line who were already collecting a lot of money in you know, government assistance. Now, even more people have been told, no, you cannot go to work because your work is not considered essential. So go home and we'll just give you some money. Like, yeah. And
where's all this money coming from?
Well, I was just going to bring up the stimulus check, and yeah, don't even get me started, because they're literally just printing money that we don't have. I mean, that's where I've never understood how money works anyways. Like, because it's like I told Caitlin the other day, I said, we don't even trade pieces of paper anymore.
Yeah.
I hand somebody my pick, and it moves numbers from my screen to their screen. That's it. Like, no physical exchange of anything.
It's true.
Yeah, somehow our world continues to go round. I don't really get it. But
you don't have to hand over 2 chickens.
Right. Although we might be heading back to that. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I'm ready for an apocalypse. I'm ready to be a marauder.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't say no to it. Like, I mean, I don't really want it because I have young kids. So maybe.
Yeah, that would be terrifying for you.
Yeah, maybe when I don't have to literally fight for my life, but
I'm not. Fine. You're pretty strong.
Dude, not right now. That's another great point I was gonna bring up. So have you been exercising pretty regularly? Because I haven't.
I haven't, dude.
No, man.
I have missed the gym with so much of my fiber and being.
Same here, man. I have fallen off the wagon so hard, and it is painful to me because
you keep talking. I have like a whole different thing I want to bring up.
Well, because I've been trying too. I try to get up early. I try to do my yoga and stuff in the morning. And all these videos I see on YouTube, how to get fit from home, blah, blah, blah. It's like all anyone's talking about. And I just don't have the motivation or drive at home to do it. I don't.
I know this is going to sound weird, but like to me, the gym is almost like a temple. Like I go there to get things done. And it's hard to get in that mindset when I'm in my house.
For sure. Oh, no, that doesn't sound weird to me at all. I think that's
perfectly... Yeah, I mean, I know you get it. But you're like, oh, you could just do basically the same things in your house. I mean, you're right. I can, but it doesn't feel the same.
Right, and it's not the same. It really isn't the same. And I mean, I agree 100% with you. Plus, I had a good routine.
Me too, dude.
And I do so much better with a routine, and now that routine is just shattered into pieces. Because like even when I go to work, I used to always try to find a hotel as close to a gym as I could, or that had a gym in it that was usable. And now I can't do any of that. All the hotel gyms are closed too. You can't even go in them. I mean,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
And I don't get me wrong, I like doing yoga, and I know you can get very strong from doing yoga, but it's very difficult. Even, I mean, I do it. I literally get up, I brush my teeth, and I come in and I do yoga. But my body is so stiff after sleeping that even yoga is like difficult first thing in the morning, like right when you get up.
But that's how I like to work out though, is just like, bam, that's right what you do first.
Oh yeah, I like to go to the gym right away in the morning, but I also have like a 15-minute drive to the gym.
Yeah,
it gives me a little bit of time to
get in the right headspace.
Exactly, yeah. So, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. It is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of hating it.
Well, I know a lot of people are, and I know a lot of people. If a lot of people listen to this, I know a lot don't, but if they do, they'll be like, bitch, I don't get to stay home. I have to stay home. And, but it's like, and to an extent, you're right. But the longer this goes on and the longer certain people are considered essential and basically carrying the people who are non-essential, I mean, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder.
I know. I don't know. Like I said before, like I don't see an end game. Like I don't really know where this stops.
I don't either. And it's scaring me because my company, which, as you know, is a huge company, like a month ago, they were like, nah, we're good. We got plenty of money in the bank. We got a line of credit if we need access to it. We're good. We're good to go. And now, like literally last week, they're like, oh yeah, we don't know if we can keep doing this. We're running out of money pretty quick. So,
yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I just miss going to the gym so much. Ugh.
I do too. That's the part that's really like upsetting me right now. And like I have been really wanting to, because I have my Connex box still at mom and dad's house, and I really want to get it put in my yard so that I can build a gym in it. But
yeah, you've been talking about that for years.
I know I have. And even then, it's still it's because like a lot of people like to like work out in their garage. That's still not the same to me as going to the gym.
I don't like the gym keeps you honest to me.
Right.
Like I don't want to go in there and look like a dumbass.
Sure. Well, and I mean, and I know that like, we've said this before. Like when you go to the gym, you're not trying to prove anyone to anybody but yourself, and that's true. However, it's always in the back of your mind. Like,
yeah,
you cannot get rid of it at the gym when you're around other people. So it literally is like a forced motivator.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a very effective one.
It's a super effective motivator, dude. And I think any motivation that you can find is good motivation. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, who cares? Yeah, I just like it's hard enough to kick my own ass at the gym, let alone my house.
Well, yeah, and especially because it's so easy when you're at your house to just be like, nah, I'll go in an hour. And I'll go in 2 hours. Whereas if you get in your car and you drive to the gym, well, you're there now. So you got to get your shit done. Like,
yeah, you don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah, like, ugh, I miss it so much. Just want to go do some deadlifts.
Right. Not me. I probably hurt myself at this point.
Oh, I know. I was getting so strong, dude, and I feel like I probably lost it all.
I've lost a lot of strength because I've lost a lot of weight.
It comes so slow.
Yeah. And it's falling off fast with not going. Dude. That's the hardest part is it's falling off quick, I can tell.
Like a month sometimes you'd be lucky to get like 5 more pounds on a lift.
Yeah, and especially like when it's been this long, it's hard. Once you pass like that 3-week threshold is when you really start losing muscle mass.
Yeah. Fuck. Basically useless now.
Hey, I want to cycle back to something that we were talking about earlier a little bit.
Of course.
Back to some video games. You said I brought up the Call of Duty that they just put out not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
And you said you wanted to talk about it. Yeah.
Because, okay, this is kind of what I have been having a feeling, just because like we've been playing Resident Evil 5, and like it's kind of, I mean, there's some bad parts, but it's pretty unique. I just kind of feel like there's not as much imagination in video games anymore. Like it doesn't really feel like anything is like truly like inspired by something.
Sure.
Because like even Gears Tactics, it's just a tactics game in Gears. Right. There's not really a lot of innovation there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I like and like some of the best, like the biggest games that are coming out now are just like remasters and re-releases, and like I don't know, just I feel like they don't, like there's just not a lot of imagination anymore. I don't know. And maybe I'm not playing the right games, but I don't know.
Well, and I mean, I was going to bring this up because, also the new Assassin's Creed is coming out.
Yeah, and right, we talked about that yesterday a little bit.
Yeah, so they put this, which it kind of makes sense because as far as I understand in the Assassin's Creed world, like you're in just different timelines. But they also were all, as far as I know, based in like real things, and now this one is going basically I guess it's just Vikings, but it looks more like Norse, like mythology type of stuff. Which
like God of War.
Exactly. God of War just did that a couple years ago, and they did it masterfully. Yeah, so
it's a great game. If anybody's like, man, I don't know about God of War, go play it already.
No, seriously, yeah, that one is definitely worth your time as far as doing a run through. I mean, and that one was good on a lot of levels. Like it had good story, amazing graphics, good fighting. It was just it had a lot of great stuff. So I hope that the makers of Assassin's Creed have their shit together, because that's going to be a tough act to follow if you don't do it right.
Assassin's Creed though is just like it's another one of those Call of Duties, like kind of like what I said, like it just like lacks imagination, and they're not doing like leaps and bounds of improvements. Well, all they're doing is like changing the setting. That's like all they do. It's just like more of the same. And I guess people love it because they fucking buy the shit out of it. So what do I know?
It's like cars, man.
Yeah.
It's like you always see commercials for like the new 2021 Honda Civic. It has all these things. And you go back and you watch like a commercial for a 2020 Honda Civic and you're like, well, it has all the same things that a 2020 had. So
yeah,
what? Nothing changed, but they make it sound like it's all brand new. So
yeah, I don't know.
See, and I'm even worried. So Sekiro was pretty unique.
Yeah, it is.
However, because it's the same people who made Dark Souls, that's immediately what everybody wants to compare it to. They're like, oh, this is Dark Souls, but this. And I hated that because that's not what it was.
No, Sekiro, it really is not that similar to Dark Souls at all.
No, it's not. And I think that I'm assuming that even the creators of Dark Souls don't like that because so you have the same problem with like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. It's not the same game. Just because the same people made it and it's a similar style of game, it's not the same game. So for people to be like, I don't like this because, in Dark Souls they did this, but in Bloodborne they did this. It's like, yeah, they did it different because it's two different games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, FromSoft is probably always going to have that hanging over their head. And I mean, any company, in my opinion, that basically always knocks it out of the park like they do is always going to have that, like, especially like the first Dark Souls. And
Sure.
Dark Souls is a unique game because it kind of was like a slow build. Like it came out and like nobody really cared, but then it like grew this big following over time.
Right.
Instead
of
like being an immediate success. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and like anything Miyazaki works on is going to be good. You know it. You just know.
Sure. Well, and now I'm very curious to see because their new game is Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Well, that's the working title right now, as far as I know, and I'll be very curious to see how they play around that because obviously, Dark Souls at its core, the first one, I didn't play much of the second one. I still plan to someday, but the third one, like basically they have a formula and they know it works, so they're playing off of that. But I do like my Dark Souls 3 and my Bloodborne. I like them both separately. I wouldn't want to see them merged together, basically.
Right. Well, even like Sekiro, it does have elements of Dark Souls, like with the like checkpoint system, basically being like bonfires.
Sure.
But it's totally different with like the systems of stealth and like the whole way that you approach combat and all that stuff is not the same at all. And I think to compare it to Dark Souls is a disservice to what Sekiro is.
It is. And if you try to play it like Dark Souls, like I did, it will kick your ass.
Yeah.
Because they made the changes that were necessary. At its core, they're very similar, but they are completely different games.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's important though, because like we're saying, like we've been saying this for years, we both sort of liked like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I would say is what the last like Call of Duty game that I played. And
oh, did I lose you? Oh no. Well, it appears. Ryan, are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just seen that it said I wasn't connected. So
dang, maybe we should wrap this one up.
Yeah, let's wrap this one up. We've banged on people's eardrums for long enough. So
I don't know. That was fun. I had a lot of fun.
So
okay.
did I. So I told you earlier today I downloaded the originals
perfect.
we're gonna do next. So let me pull that up so I remember the names of them. So
it is How to Kill the Demon King, how to Kill a Demon King, and The Getaway. Did you see also that they brought back Treasure Island on there?
Yes, I did see that, actually. I was going to say something to you about that.
Yeah, WTF. Why?
I don't know. Especially, how could they bring it back after we shit on it so hard?
I know, right? Like after the only review that matters said it's garbage.
Exactly. How dare they?
How dare they besmirch our name like this? If I had a glove, I would smack them with it.
What'd you say?
So if I had a glove, I would smack them with it.
So for anybody curious, those will be the 2 Audible originals we are going to take a look at, and we're going to try to smash those both into one episode, hopefully soon.
And so if you hate that idea, you can't stand that idea, please email us at kotpl.pod@gmail.com.
Yes, please do. Well, I think with that, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. So stay safe out there, everybody, and thank you anyone and everyone who is still listening and has listened to any of our other content. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate I look at the stats all the time, constantly. And I appreciate even one listen. So I truly appreciate any of you that take 3 seconds out of your day, even to turn our podcast on for 2 seconds. I appreciate all of you.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to kind of help us out, the best thing you could do at this point is, 1, email us, because that would just help us internally out. And number 2, you could leave us a 5-star review or whatever the kids are doing these days.
Make a TikTok about it.
No, please don't do that.
Okay.
Hey, before we go, I had to ask you something.
Okay.
Where can you not get Jim Beam Ghost anymore?
Oh, you can't. I know. I actually looked for that in the liquor store today, which is a shame because that was my favorite.
So did I. You can buy Jim Beam Peach, which
that's not the same thing. How dare you even say that?
Well, no. I was gonna say, but what is that? I don't want that. I want Bring My Ghost back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what happened to my lightly aged whiskey? Come on.
Oh man. Yeah. So seriously, Jim Beam, if you're listening, number 1, we want Ghost back, and number 2, we would really like some sponsors. So
yeah, because we imbibe with your products all the time.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's end it before I get on another tangent.
Yeah, and we hope to catch you guys in the next one.